So I can totally get behind that new camera and that other death scream. I'm sure in the upcoming months we will be hearing a lot more. I know some people in the last video were fans of the new death screams, some weren't, which is great. You know what I mean? Sounded music is to each their own, it's your preference. Now, as long as you don't like the ting tings better than Linkin Park, then we're cool. But this new UI or user interface looks great, and I'll play the clip here. Overall, to me, it looks excellent. I'm loving the quality of life features as well, and the text does look sweet. So you get to see a preview of the map beforehand, you get to change out equipment, change jobs, and so on. So I do really think it's going in the right direction with the gameplay. Like, there were times in the original and in War of the Lions, especially during my first time playing it, I really wish I had different abilities on, like, jump +1 or 2, or even ignore height on certain maps. And assuming if we aren't getting new battles, or if tactical difficulties really change up the map and battles, this feature I could see being not as helpful to us, because we're going to know what's up. But either way, I think it's nice, just in case we're having a bad day, or we forget something. But in the end, I do like having this option, and having options is always a great or better thing. Now, in terms of balancing the game, I couldn't find much so far, other than this post on the Japanese X profile. It looks like the mantras, like Rapha and Marach's abilities, as well as Unyielding Blade or Mighty Sword from Orlando's and Meliadoul's skill set, will be more effective, or perhaps based on their War of the Lions improvements. Because in the original, let's be honest here, the original Heaven and Hell skill were way too random, and you couldn't use things like Shellbust Stab or Ice Wolf Bite on monsters. Now, in the War of the Lions version, it greatly improved this by, increasing the number of times the mantras could hit, and they were way more likely to focus on the center tile, and having Unyielding Blade work on monsters, as well as do more damage to enemies once their armor or set equipment was broken, was nice. But honestly, the Divine Knight abilities were already overkill big time in terms of their damage. It's like a 1 or 2 hit. But honestly, who knows what the team is going for in terms of balance, but if they just base it off the War of the Lions improvements, that is an A+ to me as well. But it's just going in the right direction so far with those abilities. And even if the game gets balanced in more ways, and I'll put that in quotes here, things getting better will be great. But at the end of the day, some things will always be far superior, and that is the way it's going to be, even if Square decides to continually patch the game. I still feel that this game will be solid overall, either way, unless Nomura joins the team at the last second and adds the time Jannies, and it changes up the whole story. Now, I was looking at X, and I know the director and even Matsuno have teased another real Final Fantasy Tactics game, assuming this does sell well. But at the same time, to me, the actual company is going to have unrealistic sales expectations for this release. And to me, we should have gotten a new game years ago, not counting, the FFTA and A2, Grimoire of the Rift. Like a proper 50-Year War sequel or prequel would be the best thing. But maybe they're going to do like the FFTA games being remastered first. But to me, FFT and War of the Lions, they're already proven. Like, it's the most popular strategy RPG of all time. It sold well in the past. I guarantee it will make light years more of a profit than Forspoken. I'm not quite sure about beating Stellar Blade though, but that isn't a Square Enix game. But the developers of Forspoken wish they could make a game like Stellar Blade. Maybe I'll turn myself into like a Forspoken channel and give you some of the best builds or something. But I will stop ranting here. While I will miss out on most of the War of the Lions content and stealing the Genji gear and so on, I can see why people are upset. But either way, I still see this being a solid release. But yeah, I wish we could get a bit more, as Forspoken got a $100 million budget. I'd rather give Akihiko Yoshida a few of those millions to give us more official art of Elmdor and Teacher and so on. But now I'll end it here. Thanks again so much for watching. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and wishing you the best in terms of your health, wealth, and happiness. See you all next time.